guys, welcome to Your Earthy Black Girl. It's your host Sanaa, also known as Your Earthy Black Girl. And you might notice that we are in a new location because normally I'm filming in my sister's room, but now we're in my room because she kicked me out and I don't gotta be nowhere I'm not wanted. So new setup from now on. But I was thinking about like when it gets warm, going outside and recording and doing that because I think it's like so cool to just like sit in the grass and record. Also, I love just like sitting in the grass. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like going outside that much, but when I do go outside, I realize how much I love it, if that makes sense. That's not why we're here though. We're here to talk about, like flipping the narrative because I noticed like it is so much easier to, dwell on negative things and be like, oh, but what if this happens? What if this happens? And it takes equal effort to flip the narrative and be like, but what if it worked out? What if it went well? What if everything happened that I wanted it to? Like, I remember my mom was saying this like a few months ago, maybe a few years ago, where she was like, yeah, like in our family, we never just stop to think about what if it works out? What if it all goes well? It's so much seemingly easier to just focus on the negative and be like, what if this happens? What if that goes wrong? What if this? But it's equally as easy, takes equally as much time, as much effort to be like, start honestly like fantasizing about all the good things that could happen, all about the great things that could go right. And I really feel like we should, take that into our everyday life. And it kind of goes to what I was talking about last episode where I was like, oh, like, abundance mindset versus lack mindset, like how if I think that there are an abundant amount of opportunities out there for me, I'll never, like trip about missing one. And I feel like it kind of goes with that, like when something happens, instead of assuming the worst, or even when something doesn't happen, because I feel like a lot of times it's stuff that hasn't even happened yet. It's us, getting nervous about stuff that could potentially happen. So I feel like in that moment, it's, your kind of responsibility, because your brain, I don't know if you guys know this, but it's like it has to do with manifestation. I'm about to school y'all on manifestation right now. Your brain doesn't know the difference between real and not real because your brain's up here. Your brain doesn't have eyes, you have eyes. So whatever you're seeing out in the world, that's what you're, giving back to your brain. You're like, it's really warm. Okay, that's a bad example, but okay. You're like, I have $200 in my bank account right now. Your brain's like, okay, you got $200 in your bank account right now. You're the one that's telling that. Your brain is not scanning your USAA account like, this is how much you have. Your eyes are doing it and then giving your information back to your brain. But if you were like looking at your bank account and you're like, I got 2 bands in my account right now, your brain doesn't know the difference. So it's kind of like that. Like when you're in a situation and you're like, what if this thing goes wrong? Your brain's like, okay, I mean, I guess, like, yeah, that could happen. Versus if you're like, what if this goes right? Your brain's like, yeah, that could very much happen. You never know. And you really have to flip the narrative because y'all, manifestation is very, very, very real. Like there's so many different ways that like people want to say like prayer, manifestation, quantum jumping, like everybody has their own word for it, their own like label on it, but it's all basically the same thing. You putting out what you want and receiving it back, whether it's positive or negative. And I do feel like intention kind of has to do with it, but I don't know. I don't know about all that. So I definitely would think like just be weary about the stuff that you're putting out there because I mean, why would you want to sit there and dwell on the negative to begin with? Like, what does that do for you? And I feel like we do it so unconsciously, we don't even realize it. Like sometimes like I'll be talking to my friends and for example, if it's like a scholarship, they're like, oh, I'm not gonna get it. Or like a school, because like obviously like right now I'm a senior, so that's kind of what everything's about, schools and scholarships. So it's like, oh, I'm not gonna get it, or I'm not gonna get in. Like I've never really thought to think like that, like because what benefit does that serve me? Why would I sit here and waste my precious thoughts thinking about how I'm not going to get something that I want? How about I'm not going to get into a school that I want to get into? About how I'm not going to achieve this thing that I really want to achieve? Like that literally does not serve me in any way. That has no reason to be in my brain, no reason for me to be speaking that out, manifesting that unconsciously, just so when it happens I can be like, well, I know what's going to happen anyway. Like, I don't know, and don't get me wrong, I think I want to actually make a YouTube video like on like, oh, stats for how I got into this school and this school, because I don't know if y'all know, like I'm like a baby genius, but like I wanna do those videos. And I feel like a really big part is that I have a delusional level of confidence. Like, if you're sitting here saying I'm never gonna get this, it's never gonna happen to me, I'm sitting here like, why would you say that? Like, what would possess you to say that? Like, why would I ever say that about myself? If I want it, why would I say that I'm not gonna get it? Like, I can understand if you're like, I don't want to be delusional and say that I immediately got it, which that's you. Me, on the other hand, yeah, I'm gonna say I got it already, because I just understand how, you know, law of attraction, law of assumption works. But even if you don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to say I already got it, you don't have to say that you don't got it. You're like going out of your way to be negative and to put on like you're going out of your way to be negative and to deny yourself of whatever you want. Like, if you want to get a new job, you go to the interview, you walk out the interview, you're like, oh, I'm so not gonna get it. It's already done. Like, they already are deciding like if you're gonna get the job or you're not. So why would you immediately shut it down and be like, I know I'm not gonna get it, when it's still like, it's, I don't know, like, I hope this is making sense. Like, you walk out the interview and you're already like, well, that's over with, I know I'm not gonna get it. You apply to a scholarship, you're like, yeah, I know I'm not gonna get it. Like, why would you do that? You already did it. Like, I don't really know how else to explain. Like, you already did the action and it's already out of your hands. So if anything, you should just be like, it is what it is, I'm gonna get it or I'm not. If you don't want to be like delusionally positive and be like, I know I'm gonna get it, that's me, might not be y'all, but you at least don't have to be like delusionally negative and be like, I'm not gonna get it. Just be neutral. Just be like, I did it, I did the interview, whatever happens was meant to happen, and it's going to happen, as like, it's whatever's for me will not pass me, if that makes sense. Like, if I apply to a college and I'm waiting for my decision, I'm not thinking I'm not gonna get in. I'm thinking I'll find out my decision on March 30th. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing more to it. Instead of wasting your time thinking about all the bad things that could happen, if anything, think about, what if this great thing happened to me? What if I was able to experience all that I want and more? And if not that, then at least think, I guess we'll find out when we find out, you know, because then it's not taking any like harm out of you, and it's not, you know, making your feelings worse, making you feel worse about yourself. Because I've never met nobody that can think negatively and it doesn't take a toll on their emotions, because why wouldn't it? Like, you're literally telling your brain, you're not worthy of this, you don't deserve this, all those things. That kind of sucks. That kind of hurt. So overall, I said all this to say, like, flip the narrative. Instead of thinking over and over and over again and literally spiraling, you know, flip that. The second you catch yourself doing it, I know some people, they'll wear like a wristband. I don't know if that's what, like, I just know people do it for this. It might be for other reasons, but like, I also know that this can be used for this reason. So I don't want to offend anybody, but like, people wear a rubber band or like a scrunchie, and then if they start thinking about like negative thoughts, they immediately, you know, do the y'all know what I'm trying to say, like, you know what I'm trying to say, and then it, you know, snaps them out of it so they can immediately flip it. Like, the second you get a negative thought, don't even finish it, because it's like, it doesn't serve you in any way. So just flip it, think positive. And if not that, because I know people will be like, oh, this is toxic positivity, da 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 da, which it's really not toxic positivity, because it's taking nothing out of your day to be positive about the situation. Like, I could see if it was toxic positivity if you were like, I'm so sad, I didn't get the job, let me just go be positive. No, it's like, I'm so sad, what if I don't get the job? Let me just go be positive. That's not toxic positivity. That's just flipping the narrative. So don't even do that. But if you do think it's toxic positivity, at the very least, when you do the thing I can't think of right now, you will, you know, flip it and be neutral and be like, well, I don't know if I got the job yet, so let me not make any rash assumptions. Let me just wait and see. So I hope this made sense. I feel like I said that at the end of all my videos, because I walk away and I'm like, I was just yapping for 10 minutes straight. That's all I have for you today, guys. Make sure you choose love, spread love, and be love, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.